Hi, and welcome to the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast. It is the 22nd of April. This is episode 46. My name is Talia. I'm also known as Franciscan Gypsy on Ravelry, Plurk, and Pinterest, and just about everywhere else.
Yeah. I am Lady Fernico, also known as Marlicia. Stop that, reverse it, flip it around. I am Marlicia, also known as Lady Fernico on Ravelry and on Plurk. And on my writer's site, I'm either known as Marlicia or as Shadowlight or Shadowlight1.
Okay, so, tea that we are drinking. Yes, grab yourself a beverage of choice.
Beverage, eats, whatever you want.
Yes.
Hot or cold, doesn't matter.
Beverage or eats. Okay. I'm drinking Pure Leaf Real Brewed Iced Tea in the raspberry flavor.
I had that last night for dinner. Well, with dinner.
For dinner, huh?
With dinner.
I didn't realize this was a dinner.
It's a weight loss dinner.
Then you definitely should have eaten something else.
I had that with dinner. It's really good.
Chai tea as always.
It's still a little chilly out here, so I'm still on my chai tea.
It got really warm and then got chilly again because our weather is demented.
I think it's finally decided it is no longer winter, I hope, and it's not quite summer, so we're getting some nice spring temperatures. It's about 50 degrees out, which is really nice. Davina's outside running around in the backyard because she can, and so if you see us kind of looking around or getting up so we can see where she is, because our backyard kind of goes around in a semicircle, and there are corners where we can't see her.
Was she supposed to zip up that jacket?
Well, as long as she's got the other one on, it's okay.
Okay.
I just don't want her taking it off.
She tries to get away with as little coverage as she possibly can.
She tries to get away with whatever the opposite is of what I told her
true.
to do.
That's what it is.
Yes. It's called
Oppositional defiance. I want to say welcomes.
We have 2 new people.
We do have 2 new people. That brings us to 92.
We only need 8 more for the podiversary. 8 more.
Not 8 more for the podiversary. We're going to have a podiversary regardless. I mean, it's not like we're going to stop short of a year if we don't have 100.
We cannot have a year unless we have 100 people.
Time will stop. So
Professor
say
X?
it high. Mr. X doesn't stop time.
He can too.
No, he can't.
He did it in the museum on X-Men 2.
No, he doesn't stop time. He makes it feel like time is stopped.
Same difference. I mean,
no, he's a telepath.
Yes, I know what he is.
And besides, if it's done in the movie, of course it's right.
Both movies.
It's a movie.
She's
it doesn't
snob.
get the comics
She's
right.
a snob. She's a snob. She thinks she knows everything about everything. Anyway, regardless of that,
telepath.
Yes, he is a telepath.
Come on, everyone knows that.
Yes,
everyone.
Even you apparently.
Drink
Don't
your
make
tea.
me spill my tea.
Well, then don't spill your tea.
Stop bouncing me, or I'll have to bounce you.
Bounce.
I think I'll bounce your head.
Hi.
You're not even remotely cute.
I love you.
I love you too. Anyway,
welcome.
We have 2 people. I don't remember their names. You have it written down.
Yes, I do. I was just trying to see if you would try to remember, and I'll tell you how horribly wrong you get.
I remember one of the little icon type things, little grayish kind of icon. The last one. I don't remember what her name is.
Okay, we have Jeanette 93.
Yes.
It is Jeanette, although it's not the icon you're remembering.
No, hers is the other one.
She was first. Welcome, Jeanette. We are very happy to have you. Then we have Mystic Stormy.
That's
whose name is Stormy.
Mystic Storming.
Stormy, Mom.
Yes, I know.
You said Stormy.
Well, it was a slip of the tongue.
Tell your tongue to behave itself.
It does not wish to.
Its wishes are of no consequence,
apparently.
Anyway, Mystic Stormy, welcome. Your rap name is completely awesomeness.
Why does that feel like deja vu? I know we haven't welcomed her before because she's new.
Didn't you have a writing friend whose name was close to
No, we
that?
had somebody that we welcomed last week or 2 weeks ago. You said that you really liked her name.
Oh, it was someone else.
Oh, Whisperer.
Yeah,
Whisperer.
It was like Yarn Whisperer or something like that.
That's why I said I feel like I had deja vu all over again. Anyway. Welcome newcomers, our 2 newcomers.
And any people who are watching the podcast for the first time but aren't part of the Ravelry group, feel free to join.
We love new members.
Or if you've been watching a long time and haven't joined the Ravelry group.
Why not?
Why not? The Ravelry group.
Yes.
Please join us.
We'd love to have you, honestly.
And of course, welcome our
long-suffering
friends.
Our really wonderful viewers that they're just awesome, and we love them.
I guess we should.
I don't have any real whips. You want to start with?
I should probably start because I have
one. I have one.
Well, I should probably start then because I have a few. Okay. So are we gonna do an Amy and Darren this week, where I have all the whips, and
I have to thank Amy too, and I forgot to put it down.
Go ahead and think while you're thinking of it.
Okay, Amy. Thank you very much for getting back to me so quickly. I am going to.
I hate you.
My husband has agreed to come with me to the Maryland Sheep and Wool in 2 weeks.
I hate her because I'm working that night.
I am so excited, and what happened was the reason I need to thank Amy is because I went looking for information, and I saw this little blurb that said if you're not in a class or whatever, you can't buy from the vendors, which sounded really weird to me. So I looked further, and it looked like maybe they had opened earlier than the weekend, but people who are taking classes only. So I wrote to Amy because I had heard on her what's her podcast?
Knitting in Circles.
Knitting in Circles.
It took me a second because I was trying to think of it as well.
Yeah.
I watch them all the time.
Yeah, I watch them all the time. But she had said that she was going, so I said, oh, maybe she knows. Maybe she found out some information. So I shot a private message over to Amy, and I said, do I have to take a class in order to buy from the vendors? And she got right back to me today, and said no, she has friends who have gone, and she's not having classes, and they're not having classes, and they expect to buy, and they bought in the past. Their friends had bought in the past, so I'm really excited about that. I've never been to a fiber festival before.
I hate you.
And well, you're going to be going to the Shenandoah one with me in September or October.
I'm not going to Maryland Sheep.
No, not this
year. Because
I
have to work. I get to be spit on and
you get to be
pooped on, and
you get to be productive. You're doing important work while I get to be frivolous.
I'd rather be frivolous.
I'm excited about it, but anyway, I wanted to thank Amy because she did get to me very, very quickly, and I appreciate it. I'm really excited about it, and maybe I'll see her there.
I hate you.
Say hi. If you see me there, Amy, don't forget to say hi.
Extremely jealous.
Okay, but go ahead, Tyler.
See my teeth.
Not my problem. Sounds like a pee-pee.
Sorry. You mean a personal problem? It didn't come out as cool as you thought it would as you said it in your head, did it?
It came out perfectly. The look was just worth 1,000 words.
It's okay. We all know that you're 2 in all reality.
3. Get it right. 3.
Drink your tea.
3.
Drink your tea.
3.
Drink your tea.
Josh is 2. I'm 3.
Drink your tea. Okay. So, are you okay?
Sorry, you just made me laugh. It's her fault.
I think we'll call this case the giggle. I have to remember that. Anyway, as I was attempting to say,
I'm sorry. I have this vision. Remember that movie I was telling you about with Judy Garland and I forget who the guy was.
I purposely block out any Judy Garland.
Remember, I told you this because it was
it's cute. Easter Parade.
Easter Parade, yeah. And it was Fred Astaire. I don't care for him either. But anyway, she made that face like a fish.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Made me laugh.
There's a meme on Facebook that shows a picture of a girl doing a fish face, and then it shows a picture of Greedo.
Oh, that's funny.
And they're like, when you do this, you look like Greedo.
Like that. Your face freezes like Greedo.
And that's a Star Wars reference for those of you who aren't.
And Han did shoot him first.
Han.
That too.
You're a Lando Leia pronunciator. Don't they say Han? Lando does.
Lando does.
I'm pretty sure Leia flips back and forth.
She does. I think she does. And Luke says Han.
Well, yeah, I think I pronounce it like Luke does.
I go back and forth. I don't say it consistently.
But Lando definitely says Han, and I'm pretty sure Leia does too.
And Chewie says roar.
Yes, Han is roar to Chewie. Okay,
everything is roar to Chewie. Sorry.
Okay, so it's all her fault. I'm working on, speaking of her fault, the Heavenly Sapphire Twin Set and Cardigan by Claire Montgomery for Mom. It's from the book Knitting Vintage.
And it's for me.
Yes, it is. I just said that.
It sounded like the pattern was whatever you said for Mom.
Oh, okay. The pattern is Twin Set Sweater and Cardigan by Claire Montgomery. I am making it for Mom. There we go.
It's very pretty.
It's from the book Knitting Vintage. I'm using Knit Picks Annie and Treasure in the Sapphire Heather colorway.
This time you actually can show it.
Yes, because I forgot to bring it out last.
So this is the front?
This is the back, and I'm thinking that they're having me work. I didn't bring the pattern with.
So is the side going to come around to the back a little? Oh, I guess it's there. Okay.
There.
You can see it. It's a little bit wider.
It's
there.
like that.
There we go.
So
isn't that gorgeous?
Yeah, it's coming out really well. Pull back.
So is this the shoulder?
Well, if you turn around, turn around.
Oh, okay.
You see, Mom, it comes around.
Can we see?
No, stand up a little bit. Because you can't even see. You see, it comes around like that.
Do I go toward you or to?
And like that, and up a little bit.
It's gonna make me fall on my head.
This isn't gonna work very well.
You're gonna have to imagine. I don't feel like falling all over the place.
But
excuse me.
It does actually look like it fits. Good job.
Even if you do say so.
There's the ribbing. I was actually talking to you about you throwing stuff.
I didn't throw.
That's the back part. I'm thinking that this is actually the sweater because then it's a back, front, back. The front, bleh. Then they're doing a left front and a right front. So I'm thinking that's the sweater versus the pullover.
Now she said, isn't this what Sniss was talking about with the ribbing, front and back?
What do you mean?
With the bumpy and the...
Oh, I can tell the difference between that.
This is the bump. And this is no bump. So
yeah.
This is the front?
That is the front. Plus, this is stuck in it.
But I learned.
No, you don't.
I learned.
Stop saying ridiculous stuff. Then I have another part to show that sweater. Because I found out for this when I was working in the ER the other night. They floated me to ER, and during a break, I bound off.
Wait a minute. So this is the bound off part?
Yeah. Well, not it's bound. It's not bound off. It's they had me hold stitches.
Right. Okay.
I lied. And I started the left front. Yeah, this is definitely going to be the sweater. And I'm not in the middle of a row.
She's not little Lindsay.
And I'm in the ribbing for that.
That's pretty.
And here's the...
What kind of ribbing is it? 2x2? 1x2?
1 by 1.
1 by 1. Oh boy, isn't that like knit, purl, knit?
It
purl,
is.
Knit? Oh.
There we go. Happiness.
That is so pretty. Love that color.
So, this has been my purse knitting. I had a guy when I was working on this while going grocery shopping. The way I grocery shop, well, the way I shop anywhere.
And people know about this already. They watch us, but
yeah. The way I shop anywhere, for those of you who haven't watched this and heard in the past, is I push the grocery cart with my arms, with my forearms, and I knit while I'm doing it. So I'm pushing and I'm knitting along, so my hands are completely free. And usually I don't even get a look. Every rare once in a while I get a look. Well, I turned around and talked to you about something. And I kept knitting my hands because I don't have my hands empty of knitting for very long ever. And a random guy stopped me and was like, "Wow, you really are."
That's dedication.
That's dedication.
Because
yeah.
he scared the heck out of us. I must have jumped like nearly out of my skin. He was so embarrassed afterwards, but it was funny.
Yeah, because he disappeared really quickly.
Yeah, because I had come around the corner, so Ty had, because she had gotten ahead of me, so I had to go back and get something or whatever else I had to do. And I came back, and when she was talking to me for whatever reason, and he talked to her and scared the heck out of both of us. I mean, we jumped. It was just funny. But anyway.
It was, yeah, and I like getting a reaction because most people don't have the, not the gumption, but most people don't feel like,
don't feel comfortable enough.
Don't feel comfortable enough to say something to someone who they don't know.
So he gets applause for being able to say something to a complete stranger. Yeah. Believe me, they don't get any stranger than that.
No, not really.
Not really. No.
She would know because it's genetically from her side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I admit. Okay. Do you have any more to say on that?
No, that's it.
Okay, I have lots of works in progress, but I haven't really touched any of them because I was very monogamous this week. The only thing I really did any work on besides the one thing that I was monogamous on was my project from the Knitters Community College with Melski from Melissa from Melski Knits. Is that what it is?
It's
Emski Knits.
Emski Knits.
Emski Knits. Yeah. I filled in some of my.
But her name is Melski.
Yeah. I filled in some of my assignment here. I've gone to the next page for that. I also finished. I don't even know if I showed you, but not that you can read it. I also finished. I dropped it again.
Good job.
I
applaud you dropping
it. Here it is. I finished the first swatch, and I was really proud of myself until I came to the bind off, and I dropped a couple stitches. I mean, I caught it somehow, but it's dropped. You can see there's a little bit of a jagged. I don't know if you can see it there. You can see it right here, where I messed up a couple stitches. I learned from it. I have to knit not so tight on the needle, because I couldn't get, when I was doing the basic bind off, I couldn't get the second loop over the first one, and so I lost it. When I tried to pick it up, I can see here now where they are. I mean, I picked up something. I don't know what I picked up, but I picked up something. You probably picked up something from the row below or something. But I have 2 more swatches to make. I have one to make in that's very tight. This is on size 1, ones, and it's very stretchy. This is Malabrigo and sock yarn, and I think I'm thinking that's probably going to bloom a fair amount. Is that what's called bloom when it grows? Yeah, a fair amount when I do the blocking that I'm supposed to do for the lesson. But I have to. You really didn't get a square out of it. You got a rectangle. Well, she said we could do 38 by 38, and that's another thing I found out is that crochet is more likely to be like a square stitch. It seems to me when I do my crochet, maybe it's the hook size I use. Knitting, just because you have 38 stitches across and 38 down doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get a square. Nope. So I learned that. I thought that was kind of cool. So I need to do one probably on size 4s or size 5s, which is the second part of the assignment, and I need to do the bonus assignment, which is to do one like size 8s or something. Well, look at your anatomy of your stitch. A knit stitch is a lot flatter, whereas a crochet stitch is tall. Right, it is. And so I'm enjoying this. I am behind in terms of lessons that are being, pushed out. We're on lesson 2, and I'm still doing lesson 1. But Mel is very low key, and she doesn't push you. And she says you can jump in whenever you want and go at your own speed. I don't listen to you. I also got a binder. I'm pushing you because I decided I wanted to put her actual lesson plans in here. Push. Why are you sitting so far away? Pretend you like me so you can get on the screen. But I don't like you. I do not pretend. Pretend. I do not wish to pretend. Pretend. Anyway. You can get on the screen a bit more. So this is the notebook I got to put her actual lesson plans, and I'm thinking about putting them in the protectors so I don't have to poke holes in pocket protectors. Pocket protectors. So I'm having fun with the community college so far. I'm going to move this so they can actually see. We had a couple times where we tried to lift up the project and they can't really see. Right. Okay. So that's basically my work in progress. My other work in progress is not really a work in progress. It's a finished object. So my other works in progress are all. We'll discuss them later. I'm just adjusting the screen. There we go. Because I kind of like a farther off view. I kind of like the view that they have in Knitting in Circles. Or Stalking at Zombies. Stalking at Zombies, yeah. They're just sitting back on the couch doing their thing. Yeah, and they're always so laid back. The thing is, we just don't sit back very far. We tend to sit ramrod straight when we're podcasting. Because what I like about it is, and this is something that I've always liked about theirs, is you can see what they're working on while they're doing it. I get distracted if I knit while I'm podcasting. But look, so you can see when your head's getting chopped off. That's because you have that down. It's facing well, it's only because you're sitting like you got a ramrod down your back. I am not, in fact. You have like this ramrod down the back. That is a ramrod. Plus you have the hair that My hair. Oh, beautiful hair.
Dad, you smacked me.
What do we say? Rats and stats?
It's been so long since I've heard that song.
We used to do all kinds of, when we were kids, we used to just add in whatever sounded cool to us at that time. So, anyway.
Yeah, I can't remember what, okay, anyway.
Yes.
Besk. Look at Besk.
Headless Besk.
Probably a row and a half. This is Besk, Who's Patty the Pillow Pony by Allison Cleaver. For me, using US8 Knit Picks Interchangeable Circulars. I'm using Yarn Bees, Annie's Alpaca, in the Arabesque colorway, and this will be approximately 13 inches high and 14 inches long. I don't know how people remember all their details for the projects without looking at show notes. I can't. I just don't have that kind of memory. Plus, I'm usually podcasting about half an hour after I get up, so
a lot of times they don't have quite as many projects.
True. Here is Besk.
And you know what?
We can actually see more of the project when we sit back this far.
Yes.
I kind of like that.
Yes, I like that a lot. It's going to be important in the next couple of minutes that we can do that.
So,
but this is not the front of the head. The front of the head is...
Yeah, this is the back of his head. That gives you a better idea. Because he's a horse head, so he's going to be going like that. And you can see the cable detail.
Very nice.
So,
it's quite big.
Oh, that's right. It's going to be the Misha for a little bit.
My husband was teasing me. When are we going to make something useful? We keep making toys.
Stay there.
Oh, beauty is useful. This is from
an artist.
My husband, the artist, who his paintings are gorgeous, but
paintings aren't ever particularly
useful. They're just beautiful, and I love them.
This is in one of my Substance Studios. You are getting sleepy.
They don't need any help for that.
My Substance Studios bag. I can't wait for early May when my Firefly one comes. How the name is a quote from Firefly. They call it the big damn heroes bag because it's a quote from the show. Those of you who watch the show, and they're saving Simon and River from being burned at the stake because River is kind of odd. She can kind of read people's minds, and they're burning. People are trying to burn her as a witch. Simon won't live because it's very primitive culture. They kidnapped Simon because he was a doctor. Spoilers! And they're gonna burn River because she started telling things that she shouldn't be able to know. And when he couldn't convince them not to, he climbed up there with her. Because if they're gonna burn her, they're gonna have to burn him too.
Just the kind of guy he is. The kind of hairpin he is.
There's a reason I like Simon. Anyway, and that line is when Zoe and Mal come in to save them. Is that there? Looks like we're came just in the nick of time. What does that make us? Big damn heroes, sir.
Oh, gee. I thought it was what's his name being disparaging. What's his name with that?
Oh, Jane.
Yeah.
It does sound like something he'd say. It does sound like Jane. But the line for him is that he's standing up there with a gun. He didn't. They're like, the people in town are like, this is God's will, your thorn. They're taking it completely to the extreme, as people sometimes can do, especially in some of these more primitive, not primitive, but in the witch hunting.
Yeah.
And
uneducated.
And they're like, it's God's will you're thwarting, and Mal's like, well, you see that man up there with the gun? He didn't really want to come in the first place. It should be his, and he's looking to be shooting some folk. It's his will you should be looking to be thwarting. It's a good show. I love Firefly. Anyway, I want my bag. Long story short. This here, talking about long story short. That was long story long.
Long story long is what Amy said. I never heard it said that way before.
I like that saying.
It makes me laugh. Every time she says it, makes me laugh.
This here is Study in Scarlet, which is the Ho Aloha by Mel Ski of Single-Handed Knits. It is, stay there, it's being worked with US6, currently with the DPNs. I'm using Stonehenge Fiber Milled Shepherd's Wool in a garnet colorway. the sweater. Turn it around. No, back this way.
Sorry, I need to check and see where Davina is.
She just wanted to stand up because
I saw her.
she wanted attention. So, oh, I really like seeing this far back. Because you can actually see
how it fits. Or how is relation to you. It's going to be nice and long.
It is going to be nice and long. And as you can see, I've still got some sleeves to go along. Yes.
1.5?
So I just need to keep...
Oh, I like that length.
Well, you see, I like a nice long sleeve.
Well, I like long sleeves too, but that's a nice length if you don't have it long.
Yeah. And some people could easily bind it off there. But I'm going to go full long sleeve with it. But yes, I think it's going to look really pretty. It's my color.
I like that a lot.
For sure. So I might just keep this on my lap. It's nice and comfy.
I do not have anything else, so
it's still a Talia show, which is how it started off. Okay.
For 7 episodes.
I know. It was my baby, my brainchild. Okay. The cavity. Okay, so this is the Amigurumi cat pattern. Bracken by Kate E. Hancock.
Yay! Oh, she's got a dolphin one that she told me about. She
has said the dolphin one.
Well, she's testing it.
She must be testing the update to it.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm glad I haven't started it yet.
I've airburned it. I've been airburned, so I still don't have.
Because she's updating a lot of her patterns. Yeah. That's actually why I put this one on pause for a little bit. Was because she was updating the pattern, and I actually had to restart it when she updated because she changed her head. Way she did it.
Her patterns are really cute.
Love them. They are really cute. I use a USG in Hobby Lobby. I love this yarn in the burnt orange colorway, and I will be using the red heart buff colorway for another part. So it's going to be orange. This is the head.
This is red heart?
No, this one's, I love this yarn.
I was going to say, it doesn't feel like red heart.
The buff, that'll be the whites for the mouth and paws. That'll be the buff.
Cute.
So he'll be really cute. I've only done the head right now. I'm letting this pattern, doing it slowly and letting myself enjoy it. I kind of not sped through, but I knocked out one of her patterns after another for a little while. And I'm taking my time with this. I keep feeling like working on different things, so I'm going to enjoy this process, work on it a little bit each week. It doesn't take that much time to do little pieces and parts for each of these.
Right.
So yeah, that's McCavity. No cat like McCavity. Okay. My blue pine.
You did a lot of work on everything.
I did. Well, I had a 5-day.
Yeah.
Since the last podcast. This is White Pine by Amy Christophers. I did it for me in the US 7. Oh no, I didn't have a 5-day. I don't know why I had so much work done. Anyway, Stonehenge Fiber Mills Shepherd's Wool. Did I say US 7s? I probably did.
Well, you said in US 7s, as if the US 7s were yarn, but so.
Well. I did not pull Lindsay. This is the bottom. I think I have
She's feeling unloved.
I think I have a few more rows, and then I could start into the basic little keyboard part.
Is that going to be what, the front and the side?
Yes, it's worked in the round, so
okay.
It'll be like that.
Okay, that one.
Instead of being sewed.
Is that going to have a button band then?
Yes, it will. I'm thinking like a brown, a wood.
A brown wood?
A brown wood button.
No, I'm talking about, is it going to have a button band?
Yeah, it will. But for buttons, I'm thinking wood.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think for your alpaca? I was trying to brainstorm what kind of buttons to do for that. I was thinking white.
That would work. I'd have to see.
Yeah. Because I think that wood would be too dark.
Well, you know what they often do with those is like the pearlescent.
Yeah, I'm wondering if you need like iridescent, pearlescent,
something
whitish
like
kind of thing.
Possibly.
Because I don't want to do something that shapes, because I think it'll bring down the sophisticatedness of the
right.
style.
It's so pretty. It's very, well, it's the 1940s. In the 1940s, I mean, they sometimes had the little shapes that were plastic, but usually that was for kids.
Yeah, and I don't want to bring down that style. Anyway. I think I'll go with a wood button for this one. Mm-hmm. I like wood buttons.
You know, you might not want to go. Well,
I was thinking the light wood would be nice.
I was thinking too. I mean, a dark wood be all right. If it was really dark.
But the dark wood is what goes better with the red. I think
Yeah.
a lighter wood would go with it.
Almost a golden.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So there we go. I like my wood buttons. That's that project. Honestly, I didn't work on Legolas this time, the cabled sweater. I just didn't feel like it, so I didn't. That's also one of my substitutes.
I just heard somebody snicker.
I started a new project. This is why I didn't work on the cable pad. Okay, I'm going to show you the picture first.
It's so cute.
This is the knitted teddy bear I got a while back. I think I bought it with some Christmas money or birthday money. And it's by
Was it given to you?
Sandra Poley. No, I got money for a gift, and then I went and I think it was an Amazon card actually. And I went and bought this on Amazon. And I am working the Oliver pattern.
It's so cute.
Isn't he precious? He's worked flat. So I'll be making the teddy bear and I'll be making the sweater. And I've looked into a ton of little buttons that are fun little shapes. He's made with fingering weight yarn, which means all that sock yarn I have can start making my way through it.
Making airplane buttons.
I don't think I want airplane buttons. I have a bunch of like frogs and a bunch of other little.
You wouldn't wear animal buttons.
I like animal buttons.
Wear animal buttons.
Animal buttons. I want it.
I'm right. She's wrong.
It's my teddy bear. It's not your teddy bear. It's my teddy bear.
That's what you think.
My teddy bear. Okay, I am using. Well, his name's gonna be Bayou. I'm using US 2s. And Moose Manners hand paint superwash sock in the River Moss colorway. And actually, I've been seeing a little bit of the.
Yeah, you gotta explain why. It's changeable.
Yeah, it's a changeable.
Now look how green it looks now.
Yeah, it looks very green. Well, underneath the bright light, it looks red.
And sometimes it looks almost tan.
Yeah, but it looks very green right now.
Yeah, very mossy.
Yeah. This is the front body.
It looks very much like this.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. So you can see it looks.
It doesn't look nearly as cool on the screen.
It's very green here, and like I said, if you go into our living room, it picks up more of the reddish and the brown.
But it's going to be having the back end showing, the garter end, because it's a garter teddy. So I finished the body front.
I thought you said the pearl on this one show.
That's what I said, the back of the.
Okay.
This here is. I can't remember what piece this is. Is it an arm? Can't remember.
One part of it.
One part of it. Here's part of the head. That's another part.
Because it's made all in pieces. All the different pieces have to be seen together.
This is another part of the head. So here's two parts of the head. Got an ear here. Here's the back. The back? It says on there.
Body back.
Yeah.
So it's not huge. It's a little guy.
So you do have a huge one that eventually I'll work in finger weight as well as.
So here's where you got your body front and your body back. That's your stomach and your.
Yeah, I guess I did do head. Where's my other ear at?
Did you make the other ear?
Yes, I did. Oh, there it is. It got tangled. So I have two of these to make an ear. To make 2 ears. Got 2 ears. I have the 2 head parts, which are not going to uncurl for you. They need to be flattened.
Let's see the neck here.
Oh, I think this is the gusset for the head. That's what this is. Here's the head gusset. And I'm not sure how all these go together. And then we have the front and the back. Like that.
That's so cute.
So all the little pieces. I had to do limbs and the sweater.
And tail?
I don't know if he has a tail. I can't remember. So I got quite a bit of progress done in a couple days. I mean, it goes really quickly, the pieces. The one I want to make at some point, I'm going to do worsted first. Well, I have a couple I want to make. Let me find Snowball first. Snowflake.
She's big.
Okay, no, this one's not big. This one comes out 7¼ inches. This one uses mohair 50 grams, and I got 50 grams of mohair for free from Craftsy. It's like a pinkish reddish color.
That'd be cute.
So I'll make this one in that.
Should be a strawberry bear.
Yeah. If I have to, I'll pick up more of the mohair.
Right.
That's fine.
One of them.
Yeah. And then the other one I want to make. It's supposed to be in worsted. It's Catherine, and I love the little dress. Look at that detail, the little babyish dress. And
she's huge.
She is huge. She's approximately 21 inches in the worsted weight. The cool thing is, eventually I can work her in fingering weights, use up a decent amount of yarn, and still have a decent height.
She's about, what, 7-8 inches maybe?
Yeah.
About half the height?
Something like that. Yeah. I'm not sure. And then the other one I want to make, where are you, Sam? Sleepy Sam.
He's just so cute.
There's so many patterns in this. And all you need are basic knitting skills. Only basic knitting skills are needed to create the 12 adorable bears in myriad outfits found in this colorful collection.
Yeah, I still have to get basic knitting skills for that. I can knit and purl, and I can yarn over.
These are basically your typical heirloom teddy bears, which makes me so happy. Now, I would not, I guess this is becoming an unintentional review of the book. If you need step-by-step instructions, this might not be the best book, because they do assume certain level of knowledge. Like, they will tell you what to do for, without giving anything away. They will tell you what to do up to row 3, and then they won't tell you what to do until row 10. They're assuming that you're working stockinette in between 3 and 10, but they don't tell you to do so specifically.
Now, have you read through the introduction and all that kind of stuff? Maybe they had something at the beginning that said, if I say this...
Thing is, for a new person...
Right, I'm just saying that.
No, there's nothing in there. There's nothing new. Yeah. Nothing in there. And they do have a good introduction. They have introduction about, caring for the toy, sewing on nose and stuff.
And show them the one that... What is the one that I was going to try eventually? When I first, it's really very beginner. It's a very beginner. It's like your first basic
beginner bears.
Beginner bears, and you can see it's basically like one piece.
Yeah.
With increases and decreases, and I think that's the one I'm going to start with.
Actually, there's not even increases. Well, there might be for the legs.
For the neck.
There might be for the legs. Yeah. Well, the body and head is all together.
Yeah, I know, but you can.
No, they just tell you it's when you sew it together. I think because the word flat.
Oh, it's flat.
All these teddy bears are flat.
Okay, gotcha.
But for your ones that are not beginner bear, and maybe even for the beginner bear, I haven't really looked at the beginner bear. But for the ones who are not the beginner bear, you really need to have some basic knowledge, maybe a little bit more in reading patterns, just because it does assume you're going to make the next logical step.
So like they say, the adventurous advanced beginner, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Someone who's not going to be intimidated by not everything being spelled out for them. But I really am enjoying this book right now, and I can't wait to make more teddies.
I'm looking forward to getting to the point where I can try at least the beginner bear. Because that's not in the round, so I think I can do pieces. I can do knit and purl and yarn over and knit together. So
my first knitted project was in the round, so I'm not really quite sure what the concern is about something being in the round.
Well, we do things differently, right?
No, we all do it all the same.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yes, yes, you're delusional. We know this.
Your turn.
Okay, I don't have
any FOs, so now it's her turn.
Before I go to my FO, I do want to talk a little bit about Next on the Needles, because what I plan to do is Emily from Holding the Sticks. Is that what it is? Holding the Sticks?
Yeah.
The hockey.
Yeah, Holding the Sticks.
Yeah. She is having a cowl. I think it starts. I don't know if it's starting already. I think she said it starts right when she ended the podcast, so I think it's already started.
Well, I'm behind.
And it goes through, I think, the end of May. Anyway, it's finished, like Lemon Crochet, whoever it was, to finish all the objects. Well, it's finishing things that have been languishing.
Oh, wow. I need to... Okay. Now, do they mean languishing like as in...
It has to be started before April 15th. So everything on my hooks and needles right now has been started before April 15th. Everything else that I may have started afterward is finished.
That means I should try to finish vest, the sweater.
Well, I have a sweater to finish. I have my little stuffed animal.
Now, can you have worked on it since April? Because I don't have anything that's been just sitting.
I don't know. I think she just said started. You have to look on the thread. It's right there.
Yeah, let's take a look.
I
haven't been very good with my podcast lately.
I think she said that it could be just started by that point. Most of mine, because I've been rather monogamous, have been started before April 15th, and very few have been worked on. The ones that have been worked on, I've worked on till they've been finished. But so aside from a baby project that I need to do for someone who is having a baby, my hairdresser who I've known for almost 15 years is having her first baby.
Has it really been 15 years?
Yeah, as long as we've been here, we follow Tabby all over the place.
Yeah, I just didn't realize it'd been 15 years yet.
And then a wedding present. I have one done that I have waiting, but I have another one that I may be doing if I decide to go that route. So aside from those two possible things and my cowl that's coming up with the 3 stitches and a couple other people for our shawl.
How long is her knit-along going, do you know?
I think it's 1 month or a month and a half. But anyway, so that's what I'm going to be trying to do. I'm going to try to finish my set, and I'm going to try to finish Katie Hancock's little moose and things like that. But I do have a finished object. Toby. Isn't he cute? Now Toby, I don't read patterns sometimes. I don't know if it's my eyesight or I'm tired or what. I finally figured out how to do the short rows correctly. I took out the one flipper that I had originally had in and did it correctly and did the others. And I kept saying to Talia, it doesn't say whether it should be stuffed or not. So I didn't stuff them because it's supposed to be a pillow. So I didn't stuff it. I only stuffed the head. I stuffed the tail when I read further and realized that the limbs are supposed to be stuffed too. So next time I make one, I will stuff the limbs, but then it won't be a pillow, it'll be a toy. And this is toy too. He's soft and I love him. He's just.
I already stuffed Beth's legs. I should have shared my knowledge at My Pillow Pony.
But it is a different designer.
It is a different designer.
This is the turtle pillow by Sonia Devlin. The turtle pillow by Sonia Devlin.
Devlin Aft?
It's Devlin.
Oh, okay. Mistyped.
And I used a G and an F hook and No Makers. This is No Makers on top. In the Aurora Nobialis colorway. And the green is Hobby Lobby. I love this yarn in the Limelight colorway. The yarn for the eyes is just scrap yarn. Now, I also did the eyes wrong, but I looked on the pattern pages.
This is a list of everything you've done wrong for Toby.
I love Toby. About a third, I think, of the people who did this project seem to have done the eyes on top like this. So I don't know if we just didn't read it or if we just didn't register, but anyway, I like Toby the way he is.
That's your excuse that everyone else is doing.
I did it on purpose, and I'm sticking to it because I love Toby just the way he is. He's huge, and he's very soft. And I think he might be bright enough for the cowl, but he's got so many similar colors that I'm just putting in the show-off thread, and he will just say hi and kind of nod.
Because that's what he does. He nods.
He's
rolling polite. His eyes right now.
He's very polite. So I'm going to put Toby up here. But I was happy to finish him. My husband's like, where's the reptile? Because he sat on a coffee table in front of my chair for like a month. So
the living room was his home.
Yes. Now
he's going to be confused about where he belongs now.
I have to figure out where to go.
He can stay in your schoolroom. Mom's a pillow.
I think that's where he's staying, actually. Dad suggested that. I don't think he wants him. We have a menagerie in my bedroom. We already have a platypus and a big dog, and I think Dad, my husband, is like, I don't want another animal up there in the bed. So,
besides, he's where everyone can see, well, more people can see him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got to show Grandma and Grandpa all the animals.
Yes.
But that's Toby. And that's the only FO I have.
Okay, well, that leads us on to the stash enhancement. Could you go first in the middle of a needle?
In the middle of a needle? Stash enhancements. I have. Do you want me to do all of them? How do you want me to work this?
Just start with one. I should be able to finish
All
one.
right. I'm going to go through a stash enhancement that's also a thank you. It's a pattern. Friday, Heather WB had suggested that with all the bad things that were going on with Boston bombing, and I'm not sure if she mentioned the fertilizer plant that went up in Texas as well, but that we do something nice for each other. And I opened my mailbox in the afternoon, and I found this really nice pattern for her. It's called the Justice Wrap, and it's by Lisa Dykstra. Dykstra, I think it's Dykstra. Dykftra. It's a knitted pattern, and it looks like this. And it's really pretty. I'm excited. It was a complete and utter surprise. I'm really thankful for it, and I think that she and I are going to try to do it together sometime after the bee leaf shawl that we do, which she might have to wait a while for me. But I'm so excited about this. I really do want to do it with her because she had expressed an interest. It has like a 238 stitch cast on, I think she said. What are you doing?
Small violin. I was totally done one cast on the
Oh, I'm sorry, it's not. It's 189.
Oh no, 189.
Well, she was the one who said so. See, she's making fun of you, Heather. It's not me. I'm a nice person.
I'm not a nice person.
No, you're not.
I'm a nurse. I can't be nice.
But anyway, so I'm really excited about this. I'm very thankful to receive the pattern. I love getting patterns. It's so exciting. It's so pretty. So I love the lace work on it. I guess you would call it open work. It's really pretty. So, and it can be worn as a shawl as well. I don't know if you can see it. Focus.
It's kind of hard to see.
Yeah.
I do thank Mom for sending me the Frog Prince pattern. I didn't print it off because I didn't think of it.
It's cute.
It's really cute. My stash enhancement. I'm going to start with what came first.
The chicken and the egg?
Well, you saw the bag last week, the Ninja Turtles.
Oh, they saw it a couple weeks ago.
But you remember a little while ago, and those of you who haven't seen the podcast at that point, hadn't, I got them for free for no particular reason from Craftsy, 2 skeins of Cascade 220 in the Puget Sound colorway.
It was really an awesome surprise box.
Yes, it really was. I mean, I got a bunch of yarn,
including
that mohair I was telling you about.
They take good care of their customers.
Well, I wanted more of that yarn to make a sweater, so I went and I bought more of that yarn to make like a total 10 skeins.
Because she has no self-control.
Well, it was on sale.
No self-control.
It was on sale. So here it is.
It's so pretty. I like this.
So I have now a total of 10 skeins, and eventually I will make it's Puget Sound, and eventually I'll make a sweater out of it. I'm really looking forward to it because I've heard so many good things about Cascade 220.
Yeah, I'd like to try that. I keep wanting to buy some, but it's either been not knowing what to do with it just yet, or the deal was like this one where I didn't know what I'd do with 10 of them.
Leo is like glaring at my Cascade 220.
Yes, he is.
Not Leo. Yeah,
Donnie.
Not Donnie.
Donnie.
I knew I seen the wrong name.
Leo's on his head.
Yeah, Leo's on it. Not on Donnie's head. Your turn.
Okay. I picked up a new magazine.
Oh, I forgot to bring mine. It works. You brought yours.
It's a Knit Simple magazine, and I picked it up because I'm always now that I'm interested in doing knitting a little more seriously. I'm always interested in things that don't look quite too overwhelming for me to start with. And it has some really cute patterns.
I partially picked up mine for the. Can you turn?
Yeah, I like this sweater too.
It was actually an ad, but it told you where you can get the sweater. So get the pattern. So obviously I had to pick it up for that.
I haven't had a chance to really look at this because things have been a little bit crazy.
I haven't because I don't need to cast on for yet another sweater yet.
I'm trying to see some of the things that
I can't finish the ones on my.
I actually like this magazine. This is the trouble with me. I always find things, and they're always ads.
But you can. Usually it tells you where to get the pattern.
Yeah, it does. I like that. I would probably. Well, actually, I like the sleeves as well. There was one in here that I really liked. I like the shawl. They're all in ads. The ones that I like are all in ads. It's just all of them, except for maybe this one, which is really cute.
You said this one. You don't show it to them.
Yeah.
Is that twin set? It's twin set one.
I don't know if to check. I think it's just a sweater. I think she's got a camisole on me.
Oh, okay.
But it's really cute. I like this shawl here, which reminds me a little bit of the set nuns construction.
And actually, it's the one in the front.
Is it?
Oh no, I lied. Ignore me.
Okay.
Just kidding.
I mean, some of the stuff I don't care for at all, but some of the stuff is really nice. I like this sweater here.
There's more that you can find to like than there is in Vogue knitting.
Yeah,
Vogue knitting is kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't like Vogue knitting. It's just strange.
Some of their sweater designs are just like, who would wear that?
Yeah, I got a kick out of listening. I think it was Jenna who was doing it, Retro Lemon, who was doing a review on Vogue knitting, and I just laughed because she was like, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like this. This one might work. I don't like this. I hate this.
Well, that's Vogue knitting. I don't know how they make their money because you're just like, really? Who would make that?
I don't understand Vogue anyway, but this pattern I really like, except I don't like the white on it.
Well, you could probably not put the white on it.
I'd probably not put the white on it, or I'd put the white with some other kind of, like a stitch or something. But there's a lot of I really like the patterns that are in here. Probably about close to half of them, which is really rare for me in a magazine. So I'm really happy with this, and it's going to go in my shelf until I figure out what I'm going to do. But, yeah, I mean, ad. See? I like the ads. Okay, that's my magazine.
And you finished that right after I did my last stitch on this needle.
Do you have another session answer?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
This came first. This is currently holding my cable sweater, even though I didn't work on it. My Llama's Cloverbird sweater bag came in. So I am happy with it. I want to just show it's its full advantage. This is the first time I've gotten her sweater bag. As you can see, it's pretty good size. Let's see a little better comparison.
Yeah.
So it's bigger than my head.
A little bit. It took her a while. Finally got through her skull. That's because there's a lot of space in there.
You know what? Go away. I'm making my podcast by myself. So take it back. You're no longer welcome here. Here's the inside. There's no pockets inside, but it's a fun fabric inside.
It is fun.
She has it so you can basically, flip it like that if you wanted to, really.
Which is nice. I like the little polka dot. Or whatever that is on the outside. Yeah, polka dots. Nathan Detroit. Only Nathan Detroit could lose $2,000 on polka dots. Guys and doll reference in case.
Was that on polka dots?
Yeah, he had a polka dotted tie.
Oh, that's right. He wanted him to bet what was on his tie.
Because he wouldn't bet him on the cheesecake because he thought it was clocking it.
Yeah.
And so he asked if he covered up his tie and said, "What tie are you wearing?"
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I do remember that now.
Yeah. Okay, we're okay. I do have a lot to do in autism awareness, but we're okay.
But look, I want you to see this little guy's face.
It's just adorable.
Isn't she cute? Because obviously she's a she, even though she's little. I think she's eyelashes, that's why. Anyway. Yep, it's... See, there's my thingy. That's the technical term.
Okay, I have one more stash enhancement, and it's not really for me, although I kind of don't want to give it up. I also ordered from Cloverbird. She had a sale on the cutest little sock bags ever. This is the ladybug bag.
Does she have pockets in there? Because I know her Batman
I think she does, yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, she has pockets in these. These are her sock size. I love this one. I've been waiting for this fabric to come back in a bigger bag for like a million years.
I haven't seen her Batman fabric since I picked up the Batman bag when I first discovered her.
I picked these up with the idea that I would use them for our 100-member giveaway. We're only 8 away, and I wanted to be able to have a good amount of really nice things to give away to our loyal members. So, because I like these. I don't want to give them up.
You don't use sock bags.
I know. Well, I could with my squares. Well, I don't do squares. Anyway, but it's a good size.
I could someday.
It's a good size sock bag.
It is. The Batman one I used to carry in my purse all the time.
It's about the same size as Lois's.
It's a little bigger than that. I've used Lois's and Clover, and when I stick this one in my purse, I don't know, maybe it is.
Same size.
It is. I think because the this one's a little bit isn't quite squishy. That's why.
Right. She's got the.
That's why it doesn't feel
she has
quite as
interfaces.
big.
She has interfacing in here too a little bit, I think.
No,
maybe it's just
not
the pockets.
Not
but anyway, these will be when we finally get to 100 members. We only have 8 to go. We'll have our celebration, our anniversary, and these will be up for grabs. Cloverbird bags. They're just gorgeous. I love them. And somebody would be really lucky to have them. So stash enhancements aren't really for me.
Oh, Melissa, if you ever are planning on getting that Batman fabric again and you just happen to want to make a sweater bag,
I would like a huge sweater bag in something like Hobbit stuff.
So I would totally take a huge Batman sweater bag. Just, if you happen to get more Batman fabric.
Did she say that one was out?
I don't know.
No, she was saying, I forget what she said was out. We were sad about it. But anyway.
Where did my show notes go? Did you meet my show notes?
I don't know.
Oh, there's my show notes.
See, accusation.
You deserve it.
Did not in fact.
Okay, so, just saying, Melissa, just keep that in the back of your head. And that's Melissa Cloverbird, Melissa, not Melissa Emsky Knit.
Right. But I did want to give Tangerine 8, what's her name?
It's
Zephead.
Yeah.
That is Casey. I've been looking for her sweater bags for a while because I like to try everybody's, and hers look really huge. And I'm just looking for. She said she's going to be making some soon, and I have to kind of play around with finances a bit before I can maybe think about getting another sweater bag. But Mother's Day is coming up, maybe.
It's maybe coming up?
Yeah.
You're not sure if it's coming up?
Not sure if it's coming up. The thing is, I think Daddy's already getting me something. So, but anyway, I want to try one of her bags, and so she gets a lot of really cute fabrics, so I'm going to keep an eye on that. Lots of sweater bags, Casey. I know it takes her a long time to do that. I think it probably takes her double the time to make,
Well, it's double the size.
Yeah.
I do have one last stash.
And then, of course, I already have 2 or 3 of Lois's sweater bags, which are awesome.
So I got bigger noses.
You do? Than who?
Than what I had before. I had little bitty noses for my little toys.
They look like hearts.
They do look like hearts. That's what I wanted them to look like. They're cute. So bigger noses for my bigger toys. I forget what the millimeters is on this. And then more sweater stitch markers because I make a lot of sweaters. Did I drop one in here? Yes, I did. I make a lot of sweaters, and I like to have stitch markers for end of round, but also to mark for the sleeves and such. So, this one is balls of yarn with one that has a kitty on the end. You can't really see the kitty.
Comes after you.
Let me pull it out. I'll show 2. So, most of them look like this one here, the balls of yarn. And then here's the one for the beginning of round. Kitty, kitty, kitty.
I like the fact that they differentiate. No, the other one. Yeah, they're not too heavy, which is good. I don't like them being overly dangly. When I tried to put stitch markers in that one time, it got in the way of my work.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on what size.
Yeah.
Then some of the other ones. I have green with brown. I have a blue one. You can see the kind of difference.
Blue with green.
I have red heart with one that has a sweater dangling from it. And then I have a bunch of red hearts with all sweaters, and I forget what the different one looks like. I think it has a bigger heart. Yeah, it's just a heart.
Yeah.
So 2 different sweater kinds. So I'm very happy I have, because I could have up to 4 or 5 sweaters on the needles, and I like having my choice of stitch markers. and they make me happy. These are the same people who did my peacock ones that Mom gave me.
They're good.
And the reason I like it is the way they spell Jane is like Jane Cobb from Firefly.
Yes.
So it's CJ Knits hand-dyed yarn. She also does yarn, obviously.
I haven't bought her yarn yet. I bought her stitch markers.
So I think her name might actually be Jane.
I think it is.
But the way she spells it makes me think of Jane from Firefly.
Yes, CJYNE.
Yeah. But I am pretending in my head that Jane Cobb is bringing me stitch markers.
Yeah, there's
while wearing his
hat,
knitted hat that it takes a brave man to walk down the street wearing that hat.
Nobody bothers Cobb.
No.
Except River.
Because she can kill him with her brain.
And the doctor doesn't care that. Alright, okay.
Your turn.
Yeah, that brings us. I already thanked. You wanted to thank yous at the very end?
We did thank yous.
We forgot. I wanted to thank Kathy.
Well, then go ahead and make
Knit Nerd. She was really nice. She came back from her little break. She was went a couple weeks without podcasting, and she came back and she gave us a really nice shout out for our Cal, our autism awareness. It was really sweet of her.
I haven't gotten around to listening to her yet.
Very nicely done. Really appreciate the interest I'm sure she's drumming up for this. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Appreciate. And of course the lovely ladies from Three Stitches Podcast, all three of them, Michelle, Catherine, and Lindsay, for continuing to work with us and not to forget to mention us.
Yes, they mention us every week
without single time, even when we forget. They're better than we are. They're just really sweet, and it's been a real pleasure. Even though we still have 2 more weeks, or a week and a half. We have until midnight of the 30th, or really early morning of the 1st, whatever you want to look at it as.
Whenever Talia happens to remember.
To close it down. So you have that little tiny window there to finish. We have roughly about 15, 20 days, something like that. What's today?
Today is the 22nd.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. We have about 10 days, a little less than 10 days. So, we're looking forward to seeing. The projects are beautiful. We've had a nice influx of projects since the last podcast, and we're looking forward to having more. Like I said, the more time you put in, the more chances you have to win something while raising autism awareness, which is nice. Excuse me. Which means I have to bring out little peoples and peepettes.
They are people.
Here's Holly. And Skittles.
Do they really want to risk getting needles? What are you doing?
Rainbow and Happy. Our mascots have grown. Toby is not really officially a mascot, but he's right here. And they're here to welcome you to the autism awareness portion of the podcast. And if you don't want to hear about this, we'll see you next week. That's okay, but we hope you will stay.
We might cry a few tears.
Yes, my animals will all cry.
But Skittles will cry Skittles?
Yeah, but they won't be good Skittles. They'll be all runny Skittles and melty and icky.
Is that Skittles' superpower? You cry Skittles?
It gives people sugar overloads. Okay, we've been talking, get a little more serious with the autism awareness, because I skipped last week because we were a little rushed and I wasn't feeling well. I think I wasn't feeling well.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah. I want to talk a little bit about some of the different diagnostic conditions that fall into the autistic spectrum. Okay. I'm not going to go into them very much because it would take a whole series of podcasts that are a lot longer than ours and dedicated specifically to this topic. So I'm just going to kind of brush over a couple, lingering a little bit on Asperger's because that's where my interest really is because of my daughter. Not that I'm not interested in all of them, but that's my specialty. Yeah, my specialty. My experience and my life impact is. One of the diagnosis is pervasive developmental disorder, or PDD, and is usually used by professionals to refer to children with autism and related disorders. But the people who do the diagnosis don't really agree on it. Some people feel it is a actual diagnosis. Other people feel that it's more of an umbrella that encompasses autistic spectrum disorders. Under PDD or autism, we have several related types of disabilities, like PDD-NOS, which usually refers to a person that has some of the behaviors that are seen in autism, but doesn't meet the full criteria for an autistic individual. Then there's autistic disorder, and there's Rett's disorder, and childhood degenerative disorder. A lot of times you'll see kids who have, within Asperger's, will have, what's it called, sensory integration problems. And then there's Asperger's, and I'm only touching on a few of these, okay? Now, Asperger's, I'm going to give you a little bit of history, and if I've done this before, I apologize, I couldn't remember. But Asperger's disorder was first described in the 1940s by a Viennese pediatrician whose name is Hans Asperger. What he did was he observed autistic-like behaviors and difficulties with social and communication skills in boys, but they had normal intelligence and language development. Autistic children, real full autistic, don't usually communicate well. Sometimes they're completely nonverbal. For a while, they were using the term mild autism to describe Asperger's, and it wasn't really until 1994 that
after my sister's diagnosis,
after my daughter was diagnosed, she was diagnosed about the same time, actually.
Which means Dr. Sapphire was really ahead of the curve.
Yeah, he was very sharp, and that he diagnosed her with Asperger's about the same time.
I totally need to name something out of Shropshire.
Yes. That anyway, Asperger's syndrome was given its own classification in 1994. But there are still many professionals who believe that it's still just a higher functioning autism, and you'll see a lot of times where it's kind of, is it or isn't it? What distinguishes Asperger's from autism are the less severe symptoms. Okay, in autism you'll see sometimes complete shutdown, complete disassociation. You'll have the less severe symptoms and the absence of language delay in Asperger's. The kids who have Asperger's disorder might be only mildly effective and have really good language and cognitive skills. And they may seem like there's nothing wrong, not wrong, that's not the right term. There's nothing different about them. It was really hard when Davina was growing up and she started showing some of the differences because her developmental legs were holding her back a little bit, because people would look at her and not see anything different. And they thought she was just misbehaving, which is really hard for the parents, it's hard for the kid, or for the adult who has it. Another difference is
they're all these kids.
Yeah, well, and I can say something about that in a little bit, but
and that's not being rude.
No. If my daughter was sitting back here, and I don't think that Davina was sitting back here, and I don't think it's being rude, or I'm not making fun of her. I'm just making a point. She had come in with her toys from outside, and she was talking to them, and sometimes I think she didn't listen to me, but she was talking to them, and I don't know what the stuffed animal, what they were playing, but she was saying, you can't say that because it's not Christian. It's not nice. You have to be nice. And I tell her that all the time because she has a tendency to be very black and white and judge accordingly. And so it drove home, besides the fact that she actually doesn't listen to me, that she's still very childlike. But anyway, to get back to the differences, autism, children can often be seen as aloof and uninterested in others. But with Asperger's, they aren't necessarily aloof. They want to be with others. They just don't know how. Mm-hmm. Okay, they have difficulty with reading gestures and social cues and things like that. They want to be part of it. They just don't know how to do it. They have limited eye contact sometimes, and they may seem to be unengaged in conversation as well. They don't make the eye contact thing. I'm constantly telling them, look at me, and she's like, I can't. It hurts.
And not all people with Asperger's have the developmental delays.
Right.
And that's what the difference is. When
Right.
I'm calling an Asperger's, someone with an Asperger's diagnosis might not be considered a kid, whereas Davina will always be a kid, but that's because of her developmental delays.
Right, and you can't say that too loud. I'm keeping an eye because I hear her outside. Then there's the almost obsessive interest that these children or kids can have, people can have. Sometimes it's very narrow focus. My daughter is very interested in the entertainment industry and entertainment area. We have to be very careful.
That doesn't sound that odd until you, like, it's an obsessive.
It's an obsessive. I mean, she latches on to certain actors, certain shows. She knows all the whatever we let her get her hands on, which we don't let her do too much.
A good example right now, her current obsession is Donald O'Connor, who is in Singing in the Rain. Generally, she doesn't pick up on the main character. She'll pick up on one of the secondaries.
Exactly.
And then she will find every single movie that actor's in, and rename all her stuffed animals to reflect one of those characters from that particular actor.
Or a couple of them. She may have a couple going concurrently.
Yes.
And
a couple of obsessions.
And
all of her stuffed animals will be named after characters.
And she makes up stories, and
she'll draw animals that are based on those characters.
Now somebody else, it might be math, it might be coins collecting, it might be.
I knew one person who said their kid obsessed about history.
Yeah, history, which is nice. It just depends. But they do have that obsessive kind of component.
And it's not just mild obsession; it is true
obsession.
And
they are. I mean, you ask her about something, and 9 times out of 10 she'll know it if she's been allowed to be exposed to it.
Yeah.
There is no speech delays in Asperger's normally. It's just a little more. It's a little odd. It can be a little odd. Sometimes it's very formal. Sometimes it's a little pedantic. It's got an odd rhythm to it. If she sounds almost like she's trying to fight down humming at times. Yeah, she does. Well, she has a lot of that other issue too. That's where the sensory integration issues come in with her. But when she was little, she was very pedantic, and I can't really explain what that means exactly. I know what it means, but I can't think how to explain it. She was? I don't remember. She was very, she repeats things. She would talk back to you with what she heard somewhere else. Her language development was right on. She was saying the I and the you and all that kind of stuff when she was supposed to, but it was just the way she spoke was different. The way she thinks is different. If she took a test, the psychological test to figure out what's going on with her, the school test or whatever, and they would give her something to do, the answer she would give would be a right one, but it would be way down at the bottom because she thinks differently. So she's not stupid. She's very bright, but she definitely is wired differently. And that's true of a lot of the Asperger's kids. They're not stupid. It sounds like she's like right out the door. That's why I keep looking over there. So, and so we always tell her, shh, because a lot of times these kids don't have control of pitch, or they don't have control of loudness. And Davina will come downstairs and we'll be doing something, and she'll be blah blah blah. Well, she also has a tendency to think that we're in her head, or that because she's thinking about something. That's the first thing. Like she'll walk into the room talking constantly. Because we can't possibly be talking about something else in the other room. It's whatever's in her head. And that's just, they're little, it seems like some of the experience I've had, that some of them are a little egocentric. And that's a developmental. That might not be Asperger's. And it's hard for us to differentiate. Pull out, because I think a lot of the Asperger's kids, especially the ones that have had birth trauma and stuff, are not just Asperger's. They're other things. Because there's perfectly functioning adults with Asperger's. There are people with Asperger's who have gone through school, they're married, they have families. Davina will never be that. A lot of times people point to Sheldon from Big Bang Theory of being an Asperger's without the developmental. Right. While if you look at Gary from Alphas, he's Asperger's with developmental. Right. Some, yes. and real life person is Temple I never forget her last name, who was a very highly placed scientist, and I believe she's a scientist. I don't know if she's autistic or if she's Asperger's, because she was diagnosed way back when. She may be Asperger's. The point is, the pure form with Asperger's, there's a really good chance that they can just go on and
because
live.
it's more the obsessive tendency,
and
that's what makes someone a really good scientist, because they hone in.
They have the ability to focus. They can be very good at whatever it is they do. They might be odd, but they would be able to function. Whereas some of the people, like my daughter, like Davina, who has more things going on than just the Asperger's, or maybe they have a more severe form, then they have more difficulties. So
I'm just thinking of the one scene from Alphas that made me think so much of Davina, where, one second. I'm going to put you on pause a second.
I'm going to have a shower. Okay, Davina, could you hurry up and slip off your shoes so we can finish up our podcast? I'm sorry.
No, you're fine, kiddo.
That's okay.
You're fine.
Just slip off your shoes and put it under the thing, and then go right out, okay? I'll go time first.
Okay. Just hold on 1 second. Actually, I'll put on pause. This is going to take a second, and I'm going to have to restart.
Yeah, she's just taking off her shoes.
You're fine, kiddo. No one's yelling at you.
She's had a good time out in the backyard.
Okay. Not bad.
But that's basically what I wanted to talk about for this. Next week we'll probably wrap it up because it's the last podcast before the drawing. Next week's the last podcast before the drawing, and that's when I'll wrap it all up. But I hope that we've helped to raise awareness a little bit.
But the scene I was going to talk about from Alphas, it made me think a little bit of Davina, because I can see her doing this. It's Gary's the one who I think has Asperger's developmental delay, and he comes with his lunch pack for him by his mom. It has his name on it, and he's going to put it in the fridge. And one of the guys, he's kind of gruff, but he really gets along with Gary. Bill.
Bill, yeah.
And Bill's like, oh, you brought me some lunch. No, it's my lunch. It has my name on it. And, Gary kind of
rocks a little bit.
He rocks a little bit. Actually, where's Davina? He almost sounds like he's fighting humming.
Yeah.
And he does have sensory overload.
Yes, he does. Well, he's got all that other stuff.
Yeah.
So go on.
But he's like, no, it has my name on it. But Gary, see, it has my name. But my name is Gary today. No, it can't be.
Your name is Bill.
Your name is Bill. It's my lunch. And
they're very black and white.
They're very black and white, and he doesn't get that he's being picked on.
Yeah, he's being teased. Because Bill would walk through fire for him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Bill would.
In case you don't know Alphas.
Bill and Gary are very close. But it's funny because he's very black and white about it, and there's a point where Bill loses his special powers, and Gary's like, you're not as fun anymore because you don't have your Bill. He'll tell him, like, things like that. You're just like, no, that's not nice.
Yes, that's another thing, and this is something that we've noticed with Davina, is that don't ask her if you don't want to know.
Because she'll tell you.
And she'll tell you if you don't want to ask her.
No, you don't ask her.
Yeah.
Because she'll turn to you and be like, Talia, you're heavier than I am. And it's like, thank you. Because, I was feeling good about myself.
No offense, Mom, but you don't look good in that. With all due respect.
Well, as long as it's respect. I mean, gosh.
Great. Thanks for the honesty. Love you too. Anyway, okay.
And it's not intentional. It's a bluntness, and that's more. That actually might be partially Asperger's.
That is.
That's not developmental. That's just the social
awkwardness. Yeah. But this is running a little longer than I wanted it to. I'm sorry for that.
She did it on purpose.
But I wanted to get all this in because next week is the last podcast beforehand. I'm probably going to just kind of glide through a little bit of it and actually post some links on the site. So I just wanted to get through this. Thank you for listening. Talia, do you have anything else?
No, I think that is it. And if we forgot anything, sorry.
Yes, I hope we got everybody that we're supposed to thank. If we didn't, I apologize. It was not intentional. Unless she forgot, then in case it was intentional.
It was intentional, she forgot.
Anyway, thank you very much for listening. I hope you have a wonderful week. Happy knitting and crocheting. God bless.
Bye-bye. And there it goes.